So not only are you insulting this man by accusing him of something that, okay, even though I personally don't think he did, but we'll just say, you know, for heaven's sakes, that he possibly did not do. Not only are you accusing him of that, you're also going to say he wasn't the greatest entertainer of all time. Hey, let's take this newbie who learned everything he's learned from Michael Jackson, and let's say he's better than him. So not only are we gonna destroy this man's character, not only are we going to disrespect him in his death, but we're gonna disrespect his legacy by saying somebody who learned everything from him is better than him. And I'm not saying 50 Cent can't have his opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. If he thinks Chris Brown is better, good for 50 Cent. Good for him. Good for him. He thinks Chris Brown is better. Good for 50 Cent. Chris Brown deserves some credit. He does. Yeah, he deserves a little bit of credit, I think. He hasn't been getting no credit. But at the same time, Chris Brown is not producing classical hit songs. And I'm sorry for those of you who might feel some type of way about that. Listen, I love Chris Brown. Chris Brown's amazing. He's super talented. You know, he supports Michael, and I love him for that. But I don't think Chris Brown has classical music the way Michael does. It's like, you know, the dynamic is just different. And if we start to really go into comparisons, we'll be here forever. So I'm not going to do that. But for 50 Cent to even insult a legend like that, it's like you can see what they're trying to do with this dynamic. You can see what they're trying to do. They want to rip apart, they want to shred apart every bit of Michael so there is nothing left. So there is nothing left. Let's attack his blackness. Let's attack his character as a man. Let's attack his integrity. Let's attack his legacy. Let's attack him in death so that he has nothing left. And if you can't see that that's a demonic force. Now, I want to talk about something because I went completely off topic. I'm going to read to you guys why I think 50 Cent is mad. I found this article on Google about Michael Jackson being a financial genius, and I'm just going to read this for you. Perhaps the best move of the Jackson's financial career was one that had nothing to do with his own music. In 1985, he sold out $47.5 million to buy a publishing catalog that included 250 Beatles songs. 10 years later, Sony paid Jackson $90 million for half of the rights, forming a joint venture called Sony ATV Catalog. Today, the Jackson estate and Sony share ownership of this catalog, which now boasts 500,000 songs, including titles by Bobby Dylan, Elvis Presley, Eminem, and many other artists. Insiders place the catalog's value somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 billion, based on estimated proceedings of $50 million to $100 million per year. You're talking about the greatest catalog in existence. Now, when we talk about this catalog, Sony is a major label. Sony is like the umbrella, and there are many other labels underneath Sony. There are many other labels underneath Sony, and I'll name a few. RCA Records, Epic Records, Legacy Records, Columbia Records, Sony Music Latin, Jive Records, Columbia Records. Now I'm gonna stop at Columbia Records. I'm gonna name a couple artists under Columbia Records that you are probably familiar with. Are you guys ready? Rebe Jackson, Harry Styles, Adele, Katy Perry, Celine Dion, Lil Nas, Freddie Mercury, Johnny Cash, Mariah Carey, Bobby Dylan, Aretha Franklin, Prince, David Bowie, The Rolling Stones, Beyonce, BTS, 50 Cent, John Legend, and Nas. And that's just a few. That's just a few artists under Columbia Records. Now, pay attention to what I said in the beginning. Michael Jackson owns half of Sony Records. To this day, it's called Sony/ATV catalog. Underneath that umbrella of Sony are these other labels: Jive Records, Columbia Records. The artists in Columbia Records are some of the most popular artists today. Michael Jackson owns 50% of each of those artists in their proceedings through Sony. Now, correct me if I'm saying this wrong. I could be possibly saying it wrong, but from what I'm reading, that is what I'm gathering. And this is just one label. That's not all of the labels. There are plenty of other labels underneath Sony. So I'll post these screenshots along with the video. You guys make your assumption. You guys draw your own conclusions. But from what I gathered, I think that's what this all boils down to. I think that's what this all means. And it's all public information. I don't have to lie about any of this. You guys can do the research for yourself. So I'm just gonna sum this up to say, from what I have read online, from what seems to be true, Michael Jackson is making money off of 50 Cent. Still, to this day, while he's in the grave. Just think about that. It's Kingofpopradio, y'all, and I'm getting up out of here. Thank you for watching this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I know it was all over the place, child, but it's just like it. Give it a nice little thumbs up, ching. I don't know that little noise the YouTubers do, child. Give it a nice little thumbs up, like it. Comment. Give me your feedback. I want to know what y'all thought about this video. If you think I done messed up the information, child, let me know. Correct me in the comments, baby. And it's Kingofpopradio out, y'all.